I think it's just going to be a question like, what is your fear in this life? What's your fear? What do you fear? So let's start from there. Well, a few reasons I want us to go there is checking some documentary actually of some really great people and businesses. And some of them you're just like, okay, what's keeping them in business? And many of them was like, it's actually fair, really. Like they know what it was to be broke, and they knew what it was to not have a business. Now that they are built to this point where they are, every time they do their business, they do everything they do, somewhere at the background is the fear of what if my customer become another person's customer? What if there's no more business again? What if I even go broke and stuff like that? And that sponsored their timely response to customer need. That sponsored their innovation in business, always wanting to create something that make business run better, make their customer enjoy them better, and stuff like that. Always looking forward to the next thing they are supposed to do to make sure they remain in business, to make sure they remain in favor of their customers, to make sure they are always at the cutting edge of what their industry is doing. And that's just one side, really. The other side is also the side of the fear that is keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do. The fear of things like, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if this is not what I'm supposed to be doing? I used to have that fear so much. What if I'm not supposed to be here? What if I'm supposed to be somewhere else? What if people laugh at me? What if people ridicule me? What if I'm not doing it right? What if I'll never get it and stuff like that? So I'm asking us this morning, let's check through some of these fears together and see how best to actually overcome them or go above them. So, what is your fear? What's one thing or even more that has always been your fear? Maybe the reason you are doing what you are doing, or the reason you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing. So, my question to you this morning is, what's your fear? What are you afraid of? What's your fear? The floor is open.
Ah, ìbéèrè ńlá lẹ béèrè yìí o. Ìbéèrè ńlá. um On my own part, I
Hmm.
feel like my own fear is being broke. I hate that feeling in my life. I hate I hate feeling being broke. I hate feeling broke. Not to talk of being poor sef. That feeling of omo, and I should have done this thing if I had money, or someone very close or important to me is asking me for money, and I cannot help the person. There's a difference between somebody asking you for money and you don't want to give the person. It's not as if you don't have,
Yeah.
but you don't want the person for some weird reasons or reasons best known to you. But the fact that you don't have the money is another thing that I detest in my life. And secondly is failing. and I'm going to relate that one to my web design career.
Okay.
I When I started, it was back end. I joined ALX and I was doing very well when I started it. I was doing very very well. Like I've learned a lot of things. Then suddenly the system that I was using there was working perfectly, but because it was rough and that was not what I requested for, so I changed it to a more a system that is more neat than that one. And I discovered that the purpose of buying the system, that neat one cannot fulfill it. So I couldn't even code for like more than 2 years. I forgot everything I learned. And now starting back, I did not even now this year now that I now start back, I didn't even start as a back end again. I switched to front end, learning entirely different language and um, different approach to tech. And the fear is, say I no go even feel like I did in the last 2 years like this. Because if I had gone with with the pace that I started with, and I was consistent for more than 2 years now, even now say I go don't get job where I go dey do where go dey pay me well.
Number.
That fear of say I no go even say I no go back, like say I no go leave this one too, based on one thing. So everything together. But the greatest of all is being broke. I rest my case.
See, yeah. It's I think for most of us, it's especially for those of us coming from where we used to think we are big or we used to think we have everything, not knowing that it was just our mom and dad that know how to manage things. And then we got out, we now saw that there is another life. And then we have tasted one or two money, and then we're like, so it can come this easy and it can go this fast. So if it can go this fast, what do I have to do to make sure it doesn't leave me alone? And really, the fear will be there because if you have known what it is to have enough to do almost anything you want to do, and you have also known what it is to want to do something and not have what it takes to do it, that fear will be there. And to talk of many other things one is supposed to be doing that one is not doing, it can it can cut across every aspect of one's life. But really, your fear is genuine, and let's say other people will address everything together today so we can help each other and do what we have to do per time and know what our fear should sponsor rather than pretending as though the fear is not there. Right? Okay.
So
Who again is there? What's your fear?
e be like these two people just dey mark attendance here.
Blessing Idimeyo na dey here.
The mayor,
I dey come. Make blessing talk. I dey come. I dey attend to my rabbit. I dey come.
Okay.
Me presently, I have a fear of if I start talking now, my phone will die. That's why I'm not talking. But okay, I think best let don't come. Up. Okay, I think one of my own fear, one of my greatest fear,
you never
um,
ready. They ask you for your fear. You talk say you think.
one of my greatest fear is this thing they call mockery. Like Shebi nǹkan tó ń ṣe rè, not being able to produce results. Let me just say, let me make that, not like that. Shey you get.
Mm.
Like you be doing this for a while, you be doing this for years, you be doing this for months. Okay, then where do you have to show forth? Shey you get. That's why most of the times I just try to intensify and do whatever I can do within my possible best to work on myself also. Shey you get. So that that kind of question won't be asked later. Shey you get.
All right.
And
So
also, like Data said also earlier, the fear of being broke. I've tasted poverty and penury, and I know I don't want to feel like, just me. Question is down, just me. So the fear of like not having to provide what you need at a particular time when you need it is something that really scares me a lot also.
okay. So you see, I think if we are going to be sincere with ourselves, there will almost be nobody without fear, right? Like, what if? And mockery is actually one of the things why we really don't do the things we want to do, sincerely speaking. Because many times we can live with ourselves not getting particular results. But people's comment, criticism, and every other thing is actually the part that is very difficult to live with. If you try a business, it fails, you can always go back and draw something else or even go find a job or something else. But along the way, when you were trying to do that business, there are some opportunities that have come that you rejected because you say you want to do business. And now, while doing that, some of your friends have seen you, some of them have offered you different opportunities or similar opportunities, and you've said no. Now, that business fails. It will be playing in your head. What would this guy say? But this guy told me to do this, I refused to. And I was offered this opportunity, I refused to take it. What now am I going to do? What am I going to tell this person? If this person hear what has happened, what will this person say? And really, mockery in itself is actually not our problem, but the people it will be coming from. So, to a large extent, we are concerned how people feel more than the real problem that we're going to have eventually. Because the part of it that we always throw away is the fact that if you try a business, try a skill, try an adventure, and you fail, you are not the same person you were before you tried. But then we don't always see that part because we're always fighting to make sure we appear right to other people. What will this person think? Will he think I'm stupid? Will he think I'm fine? Will he not think it's because of so? That's why, and stuff like that. And I can tell you, I'm always afraid of that also. Like, what will people think? But still and still, you just have to do what you have to do, right? Because sincerely speaking, all these fears are not going away. And the only way to actually tackle it is to face it head on. Let people say whatever it is they want to say. And then you do whatever it is you need to do. And that's just how to do it. Image, are you ready for us? May, are you ready? Okay, looks like he's still busy. Now, if there's anything I've truly found is that,
Yeah, I'm ready now.
oh, okay.
Okay. So like others have said, well, one you just mentioned one of my fears now, and that is will I call it because maybe because of the experience about it. So it has over time built a fear in me, which is fear of even starting out, fear of starting out, fear of even venturing into new things. Because maybe because I've ventured into some things in the past, which I started out and didn't complete. So it has created a fear in me that okay, what if I start this thing, if I start this new thing, what's going to be the end of it? Am I going to complete? Am I going to see it to a reasonable end? Am I going to complete it? Am I going to be successful in it? Am I going to am I going to bring out good results from it? So sometimes I have that fear of starting out new things, fear of starting out new things and seeing it to a reasonable end. You understand? So that's one of my greatest fear. And you just addressed it now, saying the person we have before we started that stuff or this the new thing is different from the person we are after we have done it, after I've started it, and maybe we didn't even complete it at all. But there are some lessons we have learned from even trying it out. So I think I I I I just need to recognize that and keep pushing to start out new things. To start out and don't make it a challenge for me to start out new things. Then also fear of fear of going broke is I think is almost a general thing for people that have tasted two sides of life. So I think for most of us here, we have been chanced to taste both sides. So the fear of going back to the other side where we are coming from is always a big one, and it keeps us going. It keeps us walking and pushing forward to make sure we don't relapse. So I think that is also one of the fears I have. Also, the fear of what the future holds for people that have been seeing have different mentors. You understand? You have mentors that have achieved so much, and you look up to them, and you are like, the work these people are doing, the work these people are putting in. Do you also have the capacity to put in such work? Do you also have the strength and tenacity to achieve such great feats and do even better than them? So the fear of what the future holds also also is a fear that I dread so much. So those are the fears.
Okay. Okay, let me take it this way. I don't know if you have noticed, but I've noticed, I've seen, I've read, and if you check through everybody also, the truth is always that nobody really knows what tomorrow holds. Nobody really is aware of what happens in the future because The future is not somewhere anybody is going to. I don't know if you have noticed, but let me just speak from the things I've learned. The fear is not somewhere you are going to. I know severally and on different occasions, different scenarios, we have been painted with future is a time in the front, sometime in the days ahead, sometime coming. But really, if we look at things, sincerely speaking, there is truly no future. Let me put it that way. Because when you look at everything, you discover that the only time you have is now. You don't have tomorrow because by the time you get to what you call tomorrow, it becomes now. And then, if you don't do what you're supposed to do now, it will keep hanging until the day you eventually do it or eventually forget entirely about doing it. Okay, so therefore, I say your future is not geographic. In fact, future is not existent in the concept of something to come or something to happen. But your future is a series of events happening now, accumulating into results that you enjoy or regret with more time that you have. And I will try and rephrase that because it comes this way that if you, let's say, okay, let's take our school for instance, degree. We all went to the university, right? You discover that 100 level, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, depending on which school you go to, whatever it is. But I'm saying that, have you noticed that every day you only have one thing to do? Attend lecture. You cannot have the so-called tomorrow's lecture today. And if you check some things, you discover that when they fix date for exam, for instance, you cannot have exams until you have had lectures. And you can just take that for instance and look at it that this event, these activities, it is because they take place that they result to the fact that you can actually take an exam. So this to say that either you think of it as yesterday or you think of it as tomorrow or you think of it as 100 years to come. Your so-called future is a series of activities and events that accumulate into something that you either enjoy or regret. So your future is not geographic and is even non-existent. But by the reason of the activities that you do, that you engage in, it is time relevant. So if you impregnate someone today and the person is pregnant, every day you will say the pregnancy is growing, we're expecting a baby and something like that. All of this expectation and everything is relevant because you believe time will be available to you till that period when that pregnancy has come to a place where it should be birthed as a baby. So in the process, if one of the activity the pregnant woman gets involved in is accident, then there's no baby. If in the process, one of the activity the woman gets involved in is drink something harmful to the baby, then there's no baby to be expected. What am I saying in essence is every time, every day, now is only the time we have. And our so-called future is time relevant because that's all we have, and the time we have is always now. So by the time you look at what you call future, by the time you get there, you find out that it's in your now, right? So if that you want to get married, you want to buy a car, you want to own a business, you want to do whatever it is, it will be as a result of whatever you do now. And now never finishes, and that's the problem. Now never finishes until you don't have life in you again. Now is always the time you have. So if you are sleeping now, that is the time you have to sleep. Now is the time. If you're working on a business, you want to reach out to somebody, you want to talk to somebody, now is the time you have. If you want to build a business, you want to buy a car, so now is the time for you to get involved in those activities that will help you achieve that thing eventually. You cannot say you get married when you cannot even talk to somebody you want to get married to. You cannot be a business owner if you cannot even start a business. And those activities are the things that build up, and they are called cumulative grade point. In fact, let me go back there. You remember when we were in school, if you look at your grade points, they don't just look at you and say because you are registered in this school, at the end of the year we're going to give you a particular CGP or GP, whatever it is. They give you they allow you through a series of activities. Come to class, the time you come to class, attendance, the classes you attend, the test you took, and every other thing like that. All of that put together is what comes into your grade point. Either there is integrity in the grade point or not, but that's what cumulated into what you graduated with. But this is to say that even your grade point is not in the future. Even when you look at it that in the next 5 years you are going to graduate, your graduation in real sense is not even in the future. Because by the time you graduate, you discover that it is now. And what makes your present now enjoyable is a function of the series of activities you engage in your previous now. Why am I saying all of this is that we should not see the future as something to come, and as a result calculating ahead what do we have to do to make it better, but that now is all we have, and we do everything we can do now to make sure that today is good, what must be done today is done, and we keep doing it like that. So over time we now discover that the series of activities we have engaged in is now leading to a series of activities that we will enjoy in the coming now. So when we consider and look into what we are becoming, all we have to do is just look at what we are doing presently. Future is simply a series of activity we engage in now that eventually will lead to a series of activity that we are going to enjoy now. Because all we always have, or we will always have, is now. There's no tomorrow, there's no uh, geographical future as though we are going there. Now is always the time we are. If you want to travel and you're supposed to save money, for instance, if you don't start saving money now, there is high probability that that traveling will never occur, will never happen. And those are just the things that go into it. So now is always the time we have. And the concept of future is actually now extended over a period of time. Yes, you can also define your future like that. And that's that. Let's not be bothered about what happens in the future. I used to bother about it because I used to think it's something we are going into, right? But for what it is, why not enjoy now the activities you enjoy now that will take you to where you want to be now? So I'm saying that to say that you want to become a developer, for instance, if it's only one line of code you're supposed to learn to write today, learn it. Because the tomorrow you are looking into will also be now. And if you don't learn that line of code today, now, by the time you get to tomorrow, which would have become now, the code you're supposed to learn, you won't be able to, because the one you ought to have learned, you did not learn. So what we do every time is we try to become at every point in time what we must become. So everything you are supposed to do, just do it. Really, when we do this course, sometimes I don't even know what we want to talk about. But I know that we have to talk about it. We just have to get on this call to make sure that we get going, we keep doing something, and to help us each become. Because now is basically the time we have. And before you know it, it's gone. And another now will be here. And that's all we have. So it makes sense to live in the now than be so conscious of what is to come and be losing out on the relevance of what is happening now. I hope that is helpful to us in any way.
Yes.
All right. So the next one, the fear of starting out at all. Hmm. It used to be my own fear, like very much also because I like to think ahead. If possible for me to see 100 years from now. I mean, that's a lot of assumption that what I understand now is still what I will understand in the next 100 years. And that's the part of it that we don't look at. Because now we are thinking, in the next 20 years, I want to have my own house and have my wife, my children, maybe have one or two businesses and stuff like that. When you think like that, it is very good. Now, the truth now remains that if you don't even start now, the possibility of those things becoming a reality is actually very small. And that's the problem. And because of that, we want to be so sure of what will happen in a future which I just demystified, in the future that we are so overwhelmed with it that we cannot even do what we are supposed to do now. And like I said, your when you give it a try, when you attempt it, you don't always come back the same. If you have the right mind, there's always something better to learn. If you go out and you shoot your shot, say you're talking to a girl, for instance, and you're saying, "Hey, beautiful, you this, you that," and the guy like, "Who is this one? Get out." There is always something to learn. If you are not learning it, if you are not learning something about yourself, you are learning something about people. And there's no business you want to do in this world that is not about people, right? I just use that for instance. Say you now want to do business, you want to get employed. You have a skill and you think you should be employed. Every time you get a rejection, you it's supposed to help you learn something about yourself. If not, learn something about the world outside there. And if not, learn something about the field, about your skill. That's the way it works. And that way you keep improving. And as time goes on, as much opportunity you have, you discover that you just keep getting better. You keep improving. So the remedy to the fear of starting out is actually starting out. If you think of all the things that could possibly go wrong, it will not leave your ideal level. It will just stay there because there will always be something to be afraid of. There will always be that fear. Start out. If it's something your heart desire, just do it. Something you want to do, just do it. Something you want to attempt, just attempt it. It's the only way to go. Really, I can give you different things you can do step by step to make sure you overcome the fear. Like people will tell you, be sure it's what you want to do, write this down. Yes, all of those are important. But many times, when you want to start out or when you want to do something new, what determines if you are going to do it eventually or not is just 3 seconds. In fact, is it three? Yes, it's just five. When you count, there is this book I read. I'm trying to remember the title now. And the writer did a lot of analysis of how you want to do things. So if you have been postponing taking that course, all you have to do is five, four, three, two, one, and start it. Don't think about anything. Don't think will my internet be available. Don't think will my system be available. Don't think will there be power supply. Don't think will I be able to see through the class. Just do what? Start. That's the best thing you can do. All those worries, leave them till when you encounter them. Just that is what you want to do because, like I said, now is always the time that you have. And the medicine or the remedy to starting out is to actually start out. Because if you don't, nobody will. And the more you delay, the more reason you have for not starting. I hope that's helpful to somebody.
Yes. Benedict.
All right. So the fear of going
Yes,
broke,
yes.
it's a real one. And I can tell you, if you engage it properly, it will also be the reason why you do everything that you need to do. It will be what will sponsor you to do what you have to do. It will be the reason you don't really give a damn about what people think about you. I I don't like referrals, right? I don't like to tell people that this is what I do, and then you have to use my link or you have to go to this person through me before you can get it done. Because I always believe if you want to do anything, why cajole people to do it? Let people do it. But on that side of the business, I've learned that people really don't know what they want or what they need until somebody introduces it to them. So that should be another topic for another day. But what am I saying in essence is, if I look at some of the things I've done, those things have actually given me some of the easiest money. To talk of referring people to trading league, either the one I traded myself or the one they did. To talk of people are referred to different businesses to do different transactions and they've given me something. In fact, um, for the stuff that these guys did with Sweet Estate, eventually they came back and they gave me 100K just for the fact that I'm the one that brought them. Like, as much as I don't like referral, I can't deny the fact that I like the money that is coming from it. Right?
No man.
Sure you get. So it has, as much as I don't like it that to see that I'm referring people or for people to think I'm referring them or for people to see that I'm doing it because I want to gain something from it. I can't deny the fact that money that is coming in from there is soft. I mean, I don't have to do anything. I just have to connect you that you need this, that you need a solution to the solution provider. The two of you meet, and the parent that get the money come back to me and say, "Thank you for bringing this person and give me something." And that's the way it works. So I'm not just talking about referral alone. I'm saying in everything that you do, when you think of the risk and the reward, and you check which one pays you past, pays you the most, then you will know what to do. I mean, I don't want to go broke, but I don't have many money on me, and I have somebody to refer to somebody for me to get money. Will I choose to be broke over feeling that somebody is feeling somehow that I refer them? If you like, feel anyhow you like. Because this is the way it works. For every time you want to advance to a new level, there are always something that you must sacrifice. So my ego must go for me to make the money that comes from referral. Either I like it or not, it's just a level of arrogance and ego to feel like it's not my kind of business to refer people, right? But you also can look at yourself. What are the things that you really don't like to do? But you know that if you do it well, they can actually pay you some cool cash. Stuff like that. Imagine an international business saying the reason they are doing the best they can do every time is because they are afraid of losing their customers. Really? And you look at it that we have over 8 billion people in the world. Why will you be so much afraid of losing your customer? Because that's the real deal outside there. People go where they like. And the cost of gaining new customers is usually higher than the cost of retaining the ones you have already. It's the way it works. So if we engage our fears properly, they can actually be the fuel to push us into the next big thing that we're supposed to be doing. So you're afraid of going broke. Your head is always calculating, what am I supposed to be doing? Yes, I can refer people. Okay, good. What do? You do this, you do this. Okay, I know somebody that needs this. You refer them. Use my promo code. Use my link. Stuff like that. You do it sharp. Still with that, you're calculating, what am I supposed to be doing? How I can do plumbing? Come on, carry your wrench. You don't even care if somebody is looking at you as a common labourer or whatever it is they look at you as. But you know that if you go to that field, something is going to come back with you. Like somebody doing painting now. And I'm saying I don't like my boyfriend to be dirty, to do dirty jobs. Exactly. That's the word I want to use. And me that is your boyfriend, I know that it is this place where I get dirty. That's something that is sponsoring my daily expenses is coming from. And that's it because I want to appeal to you. I refuse to go and do my dirty work. Oh boy, that's going to be rough. And it won't be good. So what do we do? When you consider, will you rather beg before you can handle your daily expenses, or have enough to meet your daily expenses without having to beg anybody, without having to be at anybody's mercy? And that's what it should be. All we have to do is to engage our fears properly. So if you're afraid of going broke, think of every business you can do, every work you can engage in, every referral you can make, every skill you can learn to make sure you're selling. I learned digital marketing, I learned affiliate marketing, I learned plumbing, I learned data. All of them have given me one or two since I started. The ones I've abandoned, the ones I'm still doing, all of them, they have given me one or two. And that's the way it goes. Now, look at you wanting to do a big boy. You can't do some kind of work. And you ain't got nothing in your pocket. Like, who does that? So, whatever gives you money legitimately, you should do, and you should do it well until the time comes when you have become big enough to know or to decide that this is what you want to do and you have enough finances to push it through. But as long as you are not there, anything doable legitimately that gives you what you need is what you do. And that's how it goes, right? Whatever it is, just do and do and do. Okay, the guy I bought chair from said if I bring people now, there is a commission for me. So I want to tell all of you now, go and buy chair from this guy. You need this my kind of chair. Here you get. It's just the way it works. Either I like it or not, people are going to need chair, right?
We don't need your chair.
Either you or another person, people are going to need this kind of chair, and they're going to need it for cheap price. Because this guy is like one of the cheapest prices I've come across. And still on that, there's still room for me to get a commission on it, right?
Yeah, actually, I think the price is affordable enough. Or should I say affordable? It's better compared to prices that I've seen online.
Yes. So now imagine with that, there's still room for me to get a commission. Will it not be stupid for me to now say, I don't like referring people? It will be stupid because all I have to do is to tell this person, oh, you need a chair. I know where you can buy it cheaper. Yeah, talk to this person. And then I tell this guy, that guy that is coming to buy chair from you is coming from me. That's all. I will not spend 5 MB to connect the two of them. And yet, something will come to my account that will be more than enough for me to buy the 5 MB back. So that's the way it works. What I'm saying in essence is, instead of engaging our fear wrongly, in such a way that it stops us from doing what we're supposed to be doing, we should actually engage it the right way such that it now becomes the reason we do what we are supposed to do. It should now become the fuel for our passion for doing what we need to do. So your fear of being broke should be the reason why you get up every morning and you do that business the way you are supposed to do it. Reach out to that customer, reach out to that client, call that business owner, tell that person what your business is, what you do, the reason you are registered that business, the reason you going out to do all advertisement and stuff like that. That fear can be that strong to make you do what you need to do. I hope that is helpful.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
All right. What other fear was mentioned before we wrap it up?
I think you've mentioned all the things that we said. Blessing mentioned fear of being broke, and I think
Mockery, yeah.
mockery. Yeah, Bill mentioned fear of starting and not finishing well, or not doing
Yeah.
well, and then of being broke. Yeah, I think I said almost the same thing too.
Yeah.
It's only this little part that I've not said anything.
AYB.
No, everything is the same thing, same thing. Oh, align.
So
Fear
what
of
is your
being broke,
fear?
fear of not, fear of being broke actually, or fear of not reaching my goals.
Fear,
Those stretching
fear,
my
fear
goals.
on one game cutting your sporting bet tickets.
No, no, no. I'm past. I'm not like that anymore. So fear of not reaching my goals, and yeah, Dimi has said the fear of starting and not ending well. So and that one I convert it to the fear of even starting at all.
Yeah. So when you set your goals, let me say it this way that actually it's not enough to set goals, right? Somebody, okay, before I go to what I wanted to say just now, when you set your goals, you should also know the steps it will take for you to get there. That's very important. That's even kind of more important than the goal. It's like you wanting to be the best, you want to be the best driver that ever exists, and you don't even know that you're supposed to learn driving in the first place. I mean, how does that work? Because when you set a goal for yourself to do anything at all, you must understand that there are steps that will lead to that goal. If your goal is to have coffee tomorrow morning, for instance, you should know that of every other thing at all, of any other thing at all, you must have coffee in the house for you to be able to do that. If you don't have coffee in the house, you must have where they sell it when it is prepared already. I mean, different and many things like that. You must just know what are the things that lead you straight to that goal you want to do. And those steps are the thing you take bit by bit until you get to that place where you are going. Now, the reason goal is important is so that when you get there, you know that you are there. But someone said it better, and this is what I wanted to say earlier, that it's even better to set objectives than set goals. Why? Is because when you set goals, there is a timeline, and when you don't meet it, you you kind of have a dislike for yourself. You feel you have not accomplished, you have not become any better, or something like that. Because what you have set out to do, you don't seem to have achieved it. So, uh, say you decide to buy Lambo by the age of 22, for instance, or let's even say 30, let's even say 40, and that's your goal. At the age of 40, you want to have your own Lamborghini. I mean, that's some people's goal, I'm just saying. And that's what you have. And then you discover that you are 39 and you are 40 and you are 42. You don't even have a Toyota yet. When you look at it, it looks like, this life has failed. But that's not true, because what that goal has done to you is has shifted your focus from every other thing that you have been able to achieve and that you have become to only that particular thing that you have been unable to achieve. And as a result, you feel downcasted, demotivated, depressed, and stuff like that. But when it's an objective, you are looking towards achieving of buying a Lamborghini at 40, and you're working towards it, you are doing many other things, you are taking the right step you are supposed to take. Say you are doing business that is generating money, you are putting money aside for savings and whatever it is, you are investing businesses to make sure that at the age of 40, you are able to do that. And then at 42, all you have been able to achieve is a Toyota. Then 43, maybe now you are still doing, say Lexus, say some Ford, something that is way higher than what you're doing before. Yeah, but because it's an objective, it helps you to see some other aspects, some other area of your life where you have actually improved. At that point, you're able to look at your business. Oh, this business used to generate $30,000 every year. Now we are generating 150,000. That makes sense. That's some improvement. Um, I used to be very bad at doing this. Now I do it effortlessly and stuff like that. So it helps you to have a larger scope and understand life better than when you set goals. So when you look at stuff like that, it helps you to see better and also appreciate and become grateful how well you have come. Because eventually the essence or the lifespan of this life, the whole essence of this life is going to be a journey at the end of the day. Because in this life there's really no destination. Everybody's evolving until we all pack our load and leave this planet. But that's just what it is. So as you set your goal, always be sure that you know the steps it will take you to get there. Now, it might not be a straight path, but at least you should know what it will take you to get there. You want a first class, you know you're supposed to be reading. And for you to get a first class, you know first of all you need to get to school. You must be admitted into a school. So in that school, you know you must study at least also number of hours. And you do that. You know you must attend classes, you must get early to class, you must start passing your test very well in very good grades, like scoring 10 over 10, 9 over 10, stuff like that in your test. So you don't just wait for the exam alone to say you score 100% in your exam while you fail all your tests and then you expect to have a first class. No. When you set your goals, you must know the steps that lead you to that goal, and then you walk through it every day to make sure you get there. So those are the things you beat down to smaller chunks of activities and you do it every day until you get to that place where you want to be. I hope that is helpful. That
Yes,
is
it is.
all right.
It is helpful. Me, I want to buttress your point where you said even if you start something and you fail in it,
Yeah,
you are not coming back the same person.
right.
And I'm going to relate it to when I started backend. I said I was doing very well when I started the backend. And everything was going nice until I changed my system. So when I start this new one now, even though it's an entirely different language and approach to doing it, the knowledge of the old one, the C and the Python that was right then, still gave me an edge to quickly grab some things and some approaches to this one too.
Yeah,
So I can say it is still better to start something and finish it because no, you are still going to have knowledge about about that thing,
mm-hmm.
even though you are not very good at it. But you are not going to be a complete novice
Yeah.
in that thing. So that's just what I want to say.
Thank you. That's a great point. Like somebody always say, if you want to do anything at all, just do it. Fail fast, fail forward. Because failure teaches something. In fact, it has a lot more to teach than success. There are certain things that because you're successful, you won't be able to learn. And you don't know that it doesn't work like that. But somehow, some way, because it just worked out for you, you might think that's the way it works and just go. But if you try again and you fail, and you try again and you fail, every time you learn something, by the time you become successful at that thing you have been trying to do for some time, not only will you become successful as in what you have been able to achieve now, but you have also become so good at it that you can create more successful people in that particular thing. I was saying, okay, when I started trading, I didn't have any money to start, so I was doing what we call leverage, not the kind of leverage you have on sports that you have in P2P where you can buy coin and use other people's money to pay, and then you come back and give them their money, right? With everything, with all the big people I work with and stuff like that, my first million naira was after 6 months of consistent trading. But before then, I've actually started about a year before that. I started, my phone could not do it. I dropped out. I started, my phone has fault. I dropped out. I was just reading stuff about it, people taking lectures. I was reading. Eventually, when I got a phone that could do what I needed to do at that point in time, I started working, doing what I have to do day and night, sleepless nights, no playful days, stuff like that. And then after the first 6 months of serious work, I hit the first million naira. Then the second month, I doubled the million naira, right? Now, the interesting part is when people came under me, I think the first one did his own first million in 3 months. And the second one did maybe the fourth month or so. And since that time, Many of them eventually even made more money in the business than I did and move on to do some other big things. So, what am I saying is, look at it that, say, the first time I didn't encounter any problem and I just moved into to making millions from there straight up. Probably I would have been able to just be telling them, just do like this and go. And they'll be wondering why they are not getting results. But all the time I was having those troubles, telling them the kind of account they should have, what they should do, what they should not do. All of those things they seamlessly avoided because I've been there before, I've been a victim. I showed them, and easily they were able to just come out of it and become something good. That's what failure does. It teaches you the things that normally you would have assumed. It helps you to get rid of assumption because assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. And really, I can only say it again and again that it's okay to fail, but only make sure that when you fail, you are failing forward, right? Fail forward, learn your lessons, and move to the next one. Yes, I hope that was good.